4-5. Rishas followed by Delfino, and then Phillips to take on Claire Page for Roosevelt. Right now,
Rishas went after a pitch down in the zone, out of the zone, which would have been ball one, and she points to her head and said, yeah, that was a bad swing. I know better than that.
Rishas after this one, fly ball lifted out towards center. This is going back, and it's gone. A solo blast for C.J. Rishas. That is going to be her 6th home run of the season and picks up her 20th RBI.
Number 1 in the conference in home runs. That just cements that standing. And after a bad first swing, she hits the reset button and got all of it and sends it out to center field.
And CJ, who's accustomed to wearing the home run gear, picks up the chain for the Lincoln Rails. So nobody out in a 1-run game now, as Stephanie Delfino will dig in.
Risha's gonna take her talents to Iowa Western next year.
Bounding ball, but hit foul. They're gonna like that in Council Bluffs.
They are picking up quite a few players from the central Iowa area for their team, and quite a few players that have a little pop in their bat and are gonna make an impact for that team.
Now Delfino, that pitch misses outside. Well, you think about what some of these high school athletes going to the next level have had to deal with over the years. Of course, the COVID year. That just seemed to be sticking around for the last 4 years, where players would elect to stay in their program. And then, of course, now you've got the transfer portal. You can just transfer in and out pretty easy, as Delfino goes down looking at strike 3. There's one away here. And, you know, it's kind of put some athletes who are in high school trying to make that transition in the lurch, for lack of a better term, because they haven't been able to look at a school if you're not a 4 or 5 star, or, you know, you really have to do some ground truthing to figure out where you're going to land. I think the biggest benefactors of that have been the junior colleges, especially in the state. Tough play by Thompson, as she's able to throw out Phillips. Case in point, Iowa Western, DMAC.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I would say that a lot of players that maybe were going to be recruited at the higher levels, at the D3, D2, D1 levels, maybe now are going to that junior college level where they can get the opportunity to play and show what they can do, and then look for they're not going in the transfer portal because they're going to play those 2 years, but they're going to look for opportunities at those schools where the players are going in to the transfer portal to try to backfill those spots.
So the tying run is on as Corsby singles out into left. And it looks like head coach Dominic Ellis is going to make change here for the runner for Corsby. And Gutierrez will be back on to run here for the 2nd time in this game. But, man, you can go play at Iowa Western, DMAC, Kirkwood for a year. They're going to find you.
Well, and I think it's maybe a lot of the college coaches at the D1 level are now starting to recruit that a little bit heavier than they had in the past, looking at the junior college level. There's so much movement. I mean, it's almost more than what you see in basketball.
Yeah.
All these players going into the transfer portal.
Well, it's worse, I think, in some cases, a lot of cases. Faust after this one, bounding ball towards short, and a sharp throw by Burriola, and that's going to be it. So the leadoff home run by Rishas puts us within a 1-run game. It's 4-3. Burriola holds strong for Roosevelt. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th when we return.
It could take a year.
4-3 game as we now go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Roosevelt and Lincoln here at Roosevelt High School. It'll be the top of the order due up for the Rough Riders. Thompson, Huggins, and Vukovic. All to take on Verba. Defensively for the Rails, they've got Dahlhauser, Newhouse, and Phillips in the outfield. From third to first on the infield, it's Rishus at third, followed by Haltom at short, then Rasmussen and Delfino on the right side. Corsby behind the dish, who just threw out a base runner in the last inning. And the nod to Verba here in the 5th. And just a point to be taken, too, that the extra COVID year is now done. So,
yeah, you can wipe that off the books.
The crazy books.
They're back for their 23rd year.
And that pitch misses high and tight. Got a hold of Thompson. And that'll be our first hit batsman here in the series.
Number 33, Isabel Huggins.
So the lead batter aboard here for Roosevelt.
And just the thing you don't want to do when you were able to get one run back in your half of the inning, you put the leadoff runner on. Comes in right off the elbow. She's one of the few hitters that didn't have an elbow guard on, doesn't have all the equipment to protect her. Took one off the elbow and ran down to first base.
The 1-0. In there for a strike.
Lincoln dugout is asking the umpire to watch to see if Thompson is leaving early, getting a little bit of a quicker jump than she should.
That pitch to Huggins misses up high. Two balls and a strike to Huggins. After this one, line shot back up the middle.
Haltom made a great effort as that ball went right back up the middle, but had a little bit too much pop behind it. And the Riders are in business here to try to get that run back.
So Roosevelt, something going here. Lead two batters on now. Vukovic showing bunt will lay it down. Verba play to first. Close play, but Vukovic ruled out, and she got the sacrifice down as each runner advances 60 feet. Let's take a look.
Vukovic doing a good job getting it down right back to Verba. And boy, that was very close again. But a good play defensively. Lincoln able to execute.
Now Claire Page with two ducks on the pond and scoring position takes a strike here. Page here in game number 2 does have an RBI. Couple of sacrifices after this one. Fly ball left field. This one's going back, and it is gone. A 3-run blast for Clara Page.
She's been hitting it hard all game long. Not only this game, but the first ball game as well. Got enough underneath that one and was able to send it out to left field. Had just enough to get out of here and get back those runs that they were looking to get back after they gave up the Rishus home run.
That's her first home run of the season. And she picks up RBIs number 10, 11, and 12. And has opened up this game to a 4-run lead for Roosevelt. And now the debate over the ball. about whether it is a new ball or one that has a little marking on it. Let's take a look at the home run here by Claire Page. Just right on it. Took mark at the wall. Trying to put some extra scuffing on it, so they had to get a new ball. So here's Addie Scott. Base is cleared and 1 out. Scott chases after that pitch for strike 1.
Sometimes you see the runner in front of you or the hitter in front of you knock one out of here, and you want to do the same thing. So you take a big rip at the first pitch you see.
That pitch misses up high for ball 1. Well, what can't Claire Page do on the softball diamond? In game 1, she was our player of the game. Game 2 came in relief, has been very strong. Here's a ground ball, left side of the infield. Haltom up with it, throw to first in time to get out. Addie Scott.
Well, you think about Page and what she's done in this ball game as we get a look at Scott. They finally get her out. I mean, she's been on base her first 2 times, and she was swinging the hot bat in the first ball game. But Page, you know, 3rd-team All-Stater a year ago.
Yeah.
And you could see that how she has made that progression, showing some power at the plate. Able to work the ball all quadrants of the zone in the circle.
And just a freshman.
Just a freshman.
Claire Page. Ground ball going to be glove foul down the third base line. Lee gave it a whirl, now down 0-2. And that pitch just misses.
And that's a look at that fastball that has a natural rise to it. It's right at the top of the zone.
So 3 runs already in. The 1-2 misses outside for ball 2.
Verba got ahead in the count and now has missed high with 2 pitches. Gonna try to come in and see if she can get the out.
This one, laser shot down the left field line. It's gonna drop in for a fair ball. So Jalea Lee with her 2nd single here in game number 2. Nani Bell looking for her first hit of the night. 7th batter in the inning that is dug in. And Bell after this one, fly ball lifted out towards left field. There's Dahlhauser, and that's going to be it for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, but they do strike for 3 in the inning. Clara Page with her first home run of the season as the Rough Riders take a lead of 4 into the 6th.
Are you looking for a job done?
7-3, Roosevelt with the lead on Lincoln as we now go to the top of the 6th inning. And due up for the rail splitters, it's going to be 8-9 top of the order. Dahlhauser to be followed by Rasmussen and then Newhouse. Lincoln looking to rally, but Clara Page stands in their way. And what a night she's had. Our player of the game, as we mentioned, in game number 1 and game number 2, really getting it done here, Laura.
Well, started at first base, had to come in for a couple of outs in relief, went back to first base, and then they brought her in for real. And how about that play? Hot corner play for Tenley Thompson. Quick hands. She has been tested down there a couple of different times. That's a shot, and that's what you have to do at third base. Have those quick reactions Doesn't have to move very far, but gloved it.
And a one hopper right back to Page. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Now, if you're Marissa Newhouse,
Take a pitch or two.
Or two.
Comebacker right to Clara Page. Over to Jalea Lee, and want to try to extend this inning a little bit longer.
Newhouse after this one, fly ball, foul ground. It'll just find some dirt down the line. And for strike 1. So we will be above the minimum for pitches here in the top of the 6th. Lincoln, you can hear their dugout trying to rally. That pitch misses upstairs for ball 1.
Seems like when that Lincoln dugout gets going and cheering that it does lift them up, and they usually do push across a run.
And the 1-1. Called strike. Right on the outer third of the plate. Now we're at 1 ball and 2 strikes, and in a relief. Page does have a couple of strikeouts. Here's the 1-2. Down and in for ball 2. Boy, and a picturesque early evening here in Des Moines.
With no lights, you get a little bit earlier start on your game times.
Ground ball headed towards third. Thompson has a bounce off in between her. Could not handle the hops. And how about this? Could this get Lincoln going?
Sometimes it just takes one little miscue like that. It was a tough one. Had some top spin on it as it got to Thompson. Just took off and off of her wrist of her, or off the palm of her glove. And they weren't able to get the speedy Newhouse as she hustled down to first, and maybe expect her to be going.
Now to Melanie Haltom. After this one, fly ball lifted out towards right. It's going to be over the head of the right fielder in Bell. And Newhouse will end up at third. And hey, Lincoln has something going here in the 6th with 2 out.
First pitch hitting and over the head of Bell, but played it very well off the fence. Uses that strong arm to keep Haltom at first. Now runners at the corners.
And we'll get a pinch hitter here. As Maddie Small, the freshman, will come in to hit. Going to be appearing in her 4th game this season. And is right now 2 out of 3 on the year. As Small tries to keep this going here for the Lincoln Rail Splitters. So Small hitting for Recius. Here in the top of the 6th. 2 out runners at the corners. After this one, bounding ball. A 2-hopper right to Lee will touch up on the bag, and that's going to be it for the Rails here in the 6th. So we've played 5.5. It is still a 4-run lead for Roosevelt here on MC22.
You won't read about my mom in the history books, but she's gonna change history forever. You'll never learn about her in school, but she'll redefine everything we know. She's not a scientist or a doctor, but she's gonna help save a lot of lives. My mom works at Mediacom, and they're going to bring us one of the world's first 10G broadband platforms. Mom says, dream big.
Seven, 3 Roosevelt with the lead on Lincoln. And I believe we're going to see a defensive adjustment too. C.J. Rishas had to leave.
Rasmussen is now in at third base.
Right. So you hit a home run, you take off early for an award ceremony. 7-3 our scores. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, in which could have been even a bigger moment. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. 8-9 top of the order due up for Roosevelt. Swanson, Bell, and then Thompson. As Roosevelt wants to try to add some insurance. Verba and company trying to stand in their way. No doubt, Rishas catching the stream here from MC22. And Ariana Morrow going to be hitting now for Sloan Swanson. And now Bill Borchert said the music was playing, and he said no pitch. And so, yes, the pitch will be allowed. Okay. So, Morrow ready to go. Hitting in place of Swanson here. A host of changes, Laura.
You get late in the innings in these ball games, everybody trying to find the right combination. Give somebody a chance to maybe start a rally for their team.
That pitch just misses high. 2 balls and 1 strike. So the freshman back in there. That pitch misses outside for ball 3. And Verba delivers a strike that swung on and missed by Morrow. Morrow in that opening game, when 1 for 2, struck out, scored a run. And a big swing and a miss for strike 3 as Verba able to collect her 2nd strikeout of the game.
Now, Verba really went after Morrow with 2 solid pitches. Got her to swing right through him.
And the rail splitters going to go back to their bench. Here for pinch hitting purposes, Avery Kent will come in to hit. Junior going to be playing in her 8th game this season. And looking for her 2nd hit of the year. Again, shaded up with that sun beaming in. And how about Kent giving it a big stroke on that first offering?
Get your opportunity to come in off the bench, and you know you're going to see a pitch in the zone right away. So be ready to take a good rip at it, and she sure did.
After that one, and we'll foul it away. And it might have got a good piece there of Corsby.
It did, off the forearm, and she's in a little bit of pain, a lot of pain.
And Coach Dominic Ellis coming out to take a look at her too, just see how she is. So you want to be a catcher. Here's another look at it.
And that's tough. It got her either right on the elbow or in the upper arm. Those sting a lot when they're coming back that way. Catchers are tough, but sometimes they sting a little bit too much, and you have to shake them off, though, and get back behind the dish.
Here's the 0-2. Called strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts here for Verba. And to the top of the order we go, but looks like the Rough Riders going to bring in Lola Tate Dotson to hit now. So we have 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
Kent didn't think it was a strike, but it looked like it was right across the letters.
And so for the Rough Riders, Lola Tate Dotson, the sophomore, in to hit. And it looks like they just want to make sure they've got it in the lineup so they can put it in the book. So Tate Dotson will stand at the ready. The sophomore going to be playing in her 8th game this season. Trying to come up with her first hit here. Again, they're cleared with 2 away. Verba will look in, and here's the pitch. Roosevelt with a couple of big innings here. 3 in the first, and then a 3-run home run hit in the 5th. We give them a little bit more distance. Tate Dotson lays off that offering. 2 balls, no strikes.
With this little bit of a lead, Coach Nagel taking the opportunity to get some of the players in, to get them some opportunities at the plate, get them some repetitions.
3 balls, no strikes. And you just never know when you're going to need.
You're right.
And with injuries, with, hey, orientation, that pitch in there for a strike.
Might not have the full complement of players at a
Right.
certain point in time during the season, so you want to get somebody a little experience so at a crucial time they're not stepping up the plate and it's their first at bat of the season.
That pitch fouled away. Hey, I've got this trap shooting tournament coming up. You never know.
That sounds like something in your household that might happen.
You just never know. Here's the payoff. Called strike 3. Verba will strike out the side. And that's it for Roosevelt here in the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. The Rough Riders looking to close it out and to grab the lead in the Alliance Conference South. We'll see if they can do it when we return here on MC 22.
Dad, second season.
Free reliability.
7-3. Roosevelt with a lead on Lincoln as we now go to the top of the 7th inning. And do it for the Rails, it'll be Delfino, followed by Phillips, and then Corsby. As Clara Page tries to close things out. Who's the pitcher of record? My mind has just been wrapped around that a little bit here. As you start out with Lee, bounce back to Page, then back to Lee, then back to Page.
Well, I think it would be Lee, and then Page gets the save.
Okay.
I think that's, in my mind, how it would happen, but I don't always keep a correct scorebook.
I just got the sure from her statistician here, Ben Hurley. So we'll go with that. See how it shows up in bound, though.
I don't know. I know she came in the jam, gave up a couple of runs.
Delfino on a pitch, hits it right back to Page on a comebacker. 1 away here in the 7th. It gets wild.
All game long in both games, Page has done a great job of fielding that position in the circle. takes command on the fly balls, the pop flies in the infield. Shows the backhand, the good glove work, and able to get that first out of the inning.
Now to Kylie Phillips. One out of three here so far. She singled back in the third. Popped up in the first. After this one, fly ball, but foul. Quickly at 0-2.
And this is where Lincoln needs base runners. Got to start moving that lineup. And Phillips took a rip at it. Doing a good job battling at the plate, trying to stay alive.
Here's the 0-2. Laser shot out into left field. And this is going to be hauled in by Swanson. What a grab. She waves goodbye.
But that was a shot. And Swanson really got a great jump on it.
Now Lincoln down to their final out. Roosevelt looking to sweep the series and gain first place in the Alliance Conference South.
You can see just on that arm right above the elbow, Corsby has a little welt up above the top of the elbow where she got hit by that foul ball.
Be feeling it tomorrow.
She's going to be feeling it tomorrow. It's going to have pretty good color to it as well. Some black and blue and maybe a little yellow as the days wear on, but that's a pretty good little knot on that right arm.
Here's the 3-0. That drops in there for a strike. Now 3-1 as Page looks to close it out. Boy, this is a big win here and could be a huge sweep for the Rough Riders. A 3-1 fly ball lifted out towards right, going back and making the grab is Bell. That's going to be it. The Rough Riders sweep the Rail Splitters to gain sole possession of first place in the Alliance Conference South, and Clara Page with another big game.
No, she came in for a quick relief stint, went back to first base, then came in to close the door, also knocking out of the park a 3-run homer.
Well, we've got the post-game awards and recap when we return here on MC22.
This girl, but now
Offers custom panel solution. We have 40 years custom metal roofing. Call today for a free quote.
At Omega Garage Doors, we and our trucks are fully stocked. Money. Omega Garage Doors is proud to have earned the trust of Des Moines area residents since 1986.
It is a series sweep as Roosevelt knocks down Lincoln here in game number 2, 7-3. To go along with their win earlier tonight, and they are your league leader in the division for the southern portion of the Alliance Conference. What a win. What a sweep.
Well, they knew coming in that they had to sweep if they wanted to get back on top and avenge that one bad loss that they had to East. Wanted to be in the driver's seat. Now they do have a matchup with Lincoln later on, but right now they are in control of the conference.
How about our player of the game? There she is right there, Clara Page, our player of the game of the series. How about this in game number 2?
She came in relief, really shut the door. Yes, gave up a couple of runs when she came in the first time, but then really closed the door on Lincoln by knocking the 3-run homer to give them that extra cushion and able to maybe breathe a little bit knowing that they could be in first place.
How about our plays of the game? Down at the hot corner, Thompson did an excellent job at her position.
Doing a great job with the backhand stab. Had several opportunities down there at third base. The hot shot, picks that one clean, no problem. Gets that one and says, yeah, there's no problem. It's easy playing third base.
Well, there's Thompson and Page. What a sweep here for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, and gaining a lot of momentum heading in down the stretch in the season. So Roosevelt takes 2 here tonight. I want to remind you, we've got more Iowa High School softball coming your way as Roosevelt wins game 2, 7-3. Coming up on Wednesday, how about this? Johnston and the Valley Tigers. It's a CIML showdown. That'll be coming your way on Wednesday with the Tigers and Dragons. Again, Roosevelt sweeps 2 games here tonight. For Laura Leonard and the rest of the crew, BJ Shaven saying so long, as coverage of high school softball on MC22 is a production on Mediacom in Des Moines. MC22 is your local sports programming leader.